Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I was looking at the news today to see what to read on, and I see a title called "The Sinner versus Alcaraz U.S. Open Final starts after delayed due to security. Trump gets cheers, boos." And I was trying to make sense of the titles. I don't follow tennis. So apparently, when they say "The Sinner versus Alcaraz U.S. Open Final," it's talking about the two players. A fellow named Italy whose last name is Sinner, and a fellow from Spain whose last name is Alcaraz. It looks like it says the Sinner versus Alcatraz, because I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and Alcaraz looks just like Alcatraz. It's missing a T, and pattern-wise, I look at that and I see the A, L, C, and there's a Z at the end. It's like, oh no. Which one's Donald? Is he the sinner or is he Alcatraz? He should be the sinner, should be in Alcatraz. It's funny how these things can sort of pan out. Just a quick pause to put some crystals down here. I just got done filming the crystals in my cabinet there. I'll be posting that one up. Likely it'll go up on Sunday. It's 12:30 right now as I record this video, and I've got it uploading on my phone to my channel, and I'll make it public as soon as I'm done recording this and it's been uploaded. For all you Powerball winners, if you're the lucky winner from Texas or from Missouri, congratulations. You'll be splitting, $1.5 billion or $1.8 billion, something like that. If you take the instant payout, you get just a little more than a third. And when you say, why a third? Well, because you get half. Like, let's say it was $1 billion. If you take the instant payout, you get half of that, which is $500 million. But then they take out 25% of that to pay federal taxes. But the federal taxes get the final rate's 37%. So you have to take another 12% out. The math just works out that it's about 35% of the value. So if you won $1 billion jackpot, if you took the instant cash, you'll end up with about $350 million. Now, it seems like you've lost 2/3 of it, but for God's sake, man, you got $350 million. I doubt either of the winners is watching this. But if you do, there are a number of videos on what to do if you win the lottery. Please watch them. First thing you do, don't tell anybody. Second thing you do is, you need to find yourself a good estate attorney, a good tax guy, and maybe a financial planner. Because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to see if you can keep yourself anonymous, or you have to set up an LLC. So, Happy Fun Ball LLC is the winner, so nobody knows that it's you that won it. Because the minute people find out it's you that won it, they're going to come out and say that you owe them money for something or another. How could you not give them $100,000 to start a business? You're so greedy. That sort of thing. Not everybody's like that, but we all know people like that. Scammers come out of the woodwork, want to invest your money for you. Set up a plan. Set some money aside to pay off bills. Set up a nice chunk to give to charities. Again, you're looking at, for these folks, they're looking at $250 million each. Maybe a little bit more than that, but it'll give you $300 million. You get the ballpark. And there are law firms that specialize in this. And you might look those up. Yeah, it might cost you a couple $100,000, but you've got hundreds of millions of dollars. Spend it, and then, live comfortably. If you're going to fill up your garage full of Ferraris and Lamborghinis and buy a 23-bedroom mansion in Malibu that costs $50 million, $100 million, guess what? You're going to hemorrhage through that cash fast. Don't do that. Give money to charities. Be the philanthropic person you've always wanted to be. Enjoy your life. Set up some nice trusts for your kids and your grandkids. Don't go over the top lest you make trust fund babies who are the biggest freaking brats in this world. You don't want a child that's running around like Paris Hilton or the Kardashians causing all sorts of mayhem wherever they go because they've got more money than God, so the rules don't apply to them. Just enough that they can set themselves up with a nice house in a nice neighborhood. Bills can be made, and they can work and doing the jobs they want, all while you are living your best life. Ending this public service announcement. This reading will be on the energies for the next few weeks coming up here. I record this on Sunday the 7th, and this first reading will start for Monday the 8th. Let's look at the energy happening in the United States over the next 4 weeks or so as we go through. So we'll cover the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. Okay? Come on down. Let's see what we got going on. I won't do an X marks the spot reading because I'm just going to do a general reading for the USA. And we'll just see where it goes. Okay? Again, entertainment purpose only. First week, starting with Monday, September 8th. The Lover's card. Oh, it's kumbaya. Everybody's going to be happy. I doubt that's going to be the case. But there's going to be maybe some big partnership or big relationship news coming from the U.S. This could be new tariff trade treaty signed. This could be court cases that are fair. This could be Donald Trump Jr. announcing that he's getting engaged. Who knows? But there's going to be some big time relationship or type issues, whether it's between people or organizations. Okay, so it's involving work and money. So it could be about the economy. Got the King of Wands. Actions being taken. Department of Justice. We got the Hierophant. Maybe I will make this an X marks the spot. And we've got the Eight of Cups. So, and underneath it for this one is the Mystery. Okay, so we're talking about relationships, generally speaking, and secrets behind certain relationships. I think we got the jobs numbers, and the number of employment folks, the number of people employed was well below expectations. So I think there may be information coming out about speculation about what the Fed's going to do about the economy. You know, what decisions are they going to make? I honestly think Trump is going to. Well, Trump is going to tell the Fed what to do. They may ignore him, or it could very well be the court case of the woman in the Fed that Trump is trying to get rid of, and she's fighting this in court because he doesn't have the right to fire her. There could be some resolution in there where she voluntarily leaves the job, but there's a secret agreement that's been made, like a severance package, if you will, that's been put together to get her to leave and put this bed to rest. That's what these cards could look at. It could look at the U.S. economy is being painted as rosy, but there's an essence of mystery behind that rosy picturing. It's almost like the government's cooking the books just a little bit, and things may be found out later, or they've been revised upward to make it look good, but it may get revised downward later because of shenanigans going on. I did say I wasn't going to make it X marks the spot, but I think I will anyways. So an X marks the spot. This, and this are all going to go away, and these two cards are going to stay out. They mark the top of the X. Shuffle the cards. Cut them at least once so that the bottom of the deck isn't the same card as it was the last time, the Moon card. And the only thing that happens in week 2 is we don't get the same cards that we had before. Week 2 would be the week Monday, September 15th. So after whatever kumbaya news we get here, we're going to get the 15th. And what's going to be the theme for the U.S. on the 15th? I think we are now going to get to, this has always been a card for me about the Attorney General. So I think maybe with this could also be Epstein stuff too. Maybe we start getting some information from the Attorney General about releasing the Epstein files. That's what we get here. There's a battle with winners and losers. An illusion. Something manifesting, something being created here. Or hidden. Like releasing files that are heavily redacted. And there's your moon card again. Just to prove it's not on the bottom. It's Mysteries and Secrets. And the World card. Okay, so whatever is happening in the Knight of Cups. Whatever is happening that second week, it's got some big hitters backing it up. Now, again, if it's like Pam Bondi talking about Epstein files, there's pressure to release all of them or none of them. And there's going to be, it might be a new push to get all the documents released. Or the magician is, they're really doing a job of hiding things before they release it, because we've got the moon card here, secret. So there's like an effort to hide things, just like that one fellow Schnitt the other day who was caught on video saying, yeah, and he might, again, this could just be pure cynicism on his part. He could be a Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. He might be a realist saying, yeah, of course, with Trump and this government, yeah, they're going to hide all the Republican names and only show the Democrats' names on it. What else do you think they're going to do? Duh. And there would be not a surprise to anybody in my audience watching this that those two cards would emerge with that. But then we have the World card here. It could be bringing an end to a cycle. So there could be a decision made that either gets the files released or at least gets through the House of Representatives. Knight of Cups. This is reaching out or trying to put an end to this. But I think we're going to find more about the Epstein stuff that week. If it's not Epstein, it's about a powerful man taking action or friendships. This, again, it could be tariff stuff. Winning or losing with tariffs. This is your last chance. You may not get any more chances. End of the line type of things. Could it be anything with Russia and Ukraine with the war? Possibly it could be a new push for a ceasefire to bring things to an end. Israel and Gaza? I don't think so. Maybe I'm just too hung up on the Attorney General with this one. But whatever it is, there's going to be a decision maker here that's going to make an absolute decision. And, Trump in Venezuela, for instance. I just think that there's a mystery behind it. Things are being hidden about a decision that was made, and it might bring things to an end. So maybe he brings the troops back from Venezuela as a peace offering. Maybe the Kilmar Garcia case stops. Something along those lines. But there's some decision that's being made, kind of a final decision, but it might have some murky undertones to it. Okay, these cards come back. Yikes. Is it bad shuffling? It doesn't help I'm not the greatest shuffler in the world, and now I'm trying to not hit these cards while I'm doing it. Just put them next to each other here. Give it another shuffle. All right. Third week. We've covered the 8th, the 15th, now the week of the 22nd. Before we do that, let's take a signifier card for the central part. Here we go. There's going to be our signifier card for the center part of it. This is going to be the center of the X. Everything sort of hinges on what this card is. Okay? So, magical mystery card. Do you want me to show it to you now? Okay. If you don't want to see it, look away. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to close my eyes so I don't see it. Here you go. Maybe that's upside down. I don't know. Okay. You can look now if you didn't want to see it. And for those who like to peek, you just peeked. And that's going to be the sort of the central theme here. All right. Third week. We go from the 8th, the 15th, and now this is the week of Monday, the 22nd. Oh, no. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Something big happens. Some House of Cards comes crashing down the week of the 22nd. Now, coming back. About a week or so ago, I did a reading asking if Trump would be around during the equinox. And I got the Ace of Coins, the Six of Coins, I think it was, like the Tower card and the Death card or something. It was something like that. And I ended up with like thoughts and prayers and stopped the video. Now, it doesn't mean necessarily that Trump is going to die. Because the Death card does not mean death. Oh, it was the Lover's card. But the thing was, I had said in the Lover's card, and I talked about, looks like angels, and then I had the Death card on the other side. Yikes! It could also just be an end that Trump continues to try and fundraise, grift off of people about wanting to get to heaven, or maybe some fundraising thing comes to an end. But there's something. Because I have a hard time believing that we would be so fortunate as to lose Trump by the 22nd. And it could also be that he's no longer healthy enough to be the president of the United States. It could be something like that. Something big is happening that week. It just happens to coincide with that previous reading that I had. A huge burden, hard thing to take. I mean, it could be the budget. Yeah, and again, that could be just the thing. It could be the budget, trying to get the debt ceiling raised or something like that. But something comes crashing to an end. Somebody who's been struggling with a heavy burden can't bear that burden anymore, and there's a collapse. There are people celebrating about this. I'm not doing myself any favors. Please don't get your hopes up on the ramblings of a mad tarot reader on the internet. Okay? Because I know what I want it to be, but that doesn't mean that's what it's going to be. That being said, oh my God, these cards. These cards. People will be celebrating it. It can also be the fake Republicans too, but there's a celebration going on here. Or it could be that the burden is being propagated by the Republicans if we're talking like economic issues. Three of Wands. Looking forward, looking for something coming in, waiting for your ship to arrive. Something overseas may be arising, or plans are about to be implemented. And there's that Page of Pentacles. Speaking about money, speaking about values, grifting, that sort of thing. And underneath is the Magician card. Okay, so it could be, whatever we saw with the Lover's card and this, a manifestation. If the Epstein files come out, it could be that it gets through the House and an overwhelming majority of Senate members welcome this and pass it. It could go to the Senate. It could have a tough time and die in the Senate. Or it could be that it goes through the Senate and it's now going to go to the president. And he can try to veto it, but they have enough numbers to override the veto. Or if he vetoes it, it's going to look really bad on him. So we had that mystery card over here before with the Moon card and the redactions. It could be that the White House decides that if the Epstein material is to go through, it's okay to release it because Trump has redacted his name to hell and back from that thing. So that he feels like he's in the clear, and honestly, he doesn't care how many other people get thrown under the bus. Now, he'll try to protect some Republicans because he wants to have that Republican Congress so he can continue to do the things that are worst in his nature for as long as he can with Republican support. But ultimately, he's worried about one person, and that's himself. If this wasn't about the Epstein stuff, it could be that, it could be economic type things. The good times in America are coming down. People are struggling. They're looking for hope, looking for a handout, something along those lines. This could be problems with the tariffs. This could be a rearranging of economic data showing that maybe we're in a recession. And we may be in a recession for a while here. This tower could also be Trump deploying troops to Chicago or something like that. Either they've been deployed and they're being brought back with the victory being declared, or they're now sent to a blue city, making things difficult on the blue city while those in Fox News celebrate and look forward to the next Portland that they're going to send it to, and they're taking ideas as to where to go with it. The Magician, this is something that's being created or hidden, but I think it's a manifestation. It could be that we manifest a downfall somehow for our struggles and to give us hope, and to really give us hope that we've got a future, especially for our young people. I like it to be that one, but we'll see. This one goes in, this one stays up, put these up here, just to allow me to shuffle, cut the deck so that we don't have the same card on the bottom. And I didn't see what card was on the bottom, so hopefully I didn't cut it on a card I just placed into the deck. And again, for those watching at home, when I put the cards in, I don't just gather them all up and slap them right on the top, so the same 5 cards that I had out there are all clustered together. I put them in different parts of the deck, probably about 5 to 10 card spaces apart, so that there's a bunch of cards in between them. If they show up again in a cluster, it's because they're supposed to. It's my own way to try and not bias the deck, as it were. So that's the week of the 22nd, right around the equinox. It looks like it's going to be an interesting times, as the proverb goes. Now, that last week of September, on Monday the 29th, going through September 36th, otherwise known as October 6th. What's going to happen that last week of September? That was the Earth, Wind, and Fire. That was right before Earth, Wind, and Fire. Badia. Okay, the last week of September, Page of Wands, 7 of Cups, the Fool card. Oh, these are interesting cards. The Hanged Man, and the 5 of Wands with the 4 of Wands. Okay, messaging about upcoming actions of inclusion or exclusion. Integrity, new starts, finding scapegoats or looking at things differently, and mayhem, fighting. So if for instance Trump can't be the president anymore, this is when all the tower card here could be J.D. Vance getting ready to come in, but it's kind of like there's going to be that last week of September. There's going to be some struggles going on. It's almost like a soul searching of America. How do we want to go forward with things? I believe I had this card once upon a time when I tried to think of what this card would represent. It would represent your Jack London, your jack of all trades, traveling the world, trying different things, and such. So this could be a world card about integrity or tariffs and new starts with those tariffs. Looking at things in a new light and mayhem that things are causing. Could be a conflict that's going on here. Pardon me for a second. My brother's calling me to set up reading times, but not in the middle of this one. He's not. Our values, new starts, and looking at things differently here. And the conflict that arises when somebody suggests something that not everybody is buying into. It's a kind of an interesting, positive look. This could be some people struggle with change. They will actively fight change. But what I see here is like a new start, new change coming in where we can maybe reevaluate our values and our what we want to do with things. It's an absolute opportunity to do things differently. So we'll see what happens with that. Now we'll take these cards here. This one. And this one. Okay, and to wrap it up, King of Swords, decisions to be made. So what's happening in the United States come this time? We need to come together and make a decision, an absolute decision, and it has to be kind of a ruthless one about our future and fighting for our future. We have ideals and struggles, but we need to decide what we're going to do with those struggles. Yeah, you don't always know the answer, and some people aren't going to they're going to threaten to leave. But September truly is about, ideals of what we want to do and how we're going to do them. And underneath it all, again, I didn't get the card underneath there, sorry. But that's what we've got going on. It's going to be an interesting September, especially as we get near to the end of it. All right, thank you everyone for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.